teams in Europe, it seems like they're always meeting in the title game, and so it is this year. They squared off in 2017, and Spain won that one, and also when France hosted the event in 2013, Spain were winners. But France, one of the powerhouses, and looking very formidable in their win over Great Britain. And you can see that Great Britain just ran out of gas, but all credit to Serbia. They put their disappointment behind them, losing to Spain last night to come out and win convincingly, 81-55 in the third place game. And now it's all about Spain, the defending champions, taking on France. And defending champions winning 2 in a row. It just hasn't really happened in the EuroBasket women, has it? I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn. Shona?
It really hasn't. You know, Spain is on the verge of possibly making EuroBasket history, being able to, if they can, win this game against France. But like you mentioned at the start, Jeff, France have been a team who have been around, and I know they're looking at it and saying the last time we won was in 2009.
Ladies and gentlemen,
why is this not our time? Those who follow EuroBasket women, these two teams have incredibly, either of them or both of them, for 11 EuroBasket women's finals have been, you have seen France or Spain. France has a little nod over Spain. They've been there 7 times. Spain have only been there 4 times. But like you said, most recently, Spain are the champions, and you gotta beat the best. You gotta knock off the best if you want to lift that EuroBasket trophy. But it's gonna be, I mean, Spain's not backing down. We saw them come out yesterday against Serbia, and wow, did they show why they're a top team in the world.
Well, this is the 4th time that Spain and France are going to face each other in the EuroBasket final. Spain have won the previous 3. I mentioned 2013, 2017, also in 1993. Spain and France have faced each other 8 times previously in the EuroBasket. Spain winning 5, France 3. So it's more of the same, really. I mean, we pretty much know that at the business end of these tournaments, really for the past decade, that these 2 teams are going to be fighting for spots on the podium, whether it's for the title or for 3rd place. So we're expecting a good one tonight as the Spanish fans cheer on Spain, their players being introduced. And we're going to have the playing of the national anthems coming up, so we're going to take a break in the commentary.
Head coach Lucas Montelo. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthems. The national anthem of France. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Spain.
Well, Spain huddle up and France huddle up before they go to meet. And, of course, Valerie Garnier on the left and Lucas Mondello on the right. Here they are. Familiar combatants. Some of them have played with each other.
But again, as soon as she checked in, you noticed a difference and sort of the momentum and just having the advantage of being able to go inside to someone as tall as she is, as athletic as she is, and Spain do a great job of throwing up the ball to her. There you have Valerie Garnier, longtime coach who took over for Pierre Vincent after 2014 for France. And of course, this man coming up,
Lucas Mondello. One of your former coaches.
Yes, who really, it seems, has taken this Spanish team to new heights almost, but has been doing it continuously for quite a while now.
Would you describe him as a grizzled veteran?
You know, he has been around coaching in China, in Europe, in Spain. I would consider him a veteran coach, yes. But then again, so is Valerie Garnier, let's not forget.
I was just saying grizzled because he hasn't shaved today.
It's been a stressful 2 weeks.
For luck. Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to Belgrade. This is the Belgrade Arena, and it is the FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 title game between France in blue and Spain in white. And Olivier Poupa goes right at Marta Jargai and scores the first 2 points of the game. So France with an early lead. Of course, both of these teams have also clinched spots in the FIBA Women's Olympic qualifying tournament. And Marta Jargai goes down and drills the three-pointer.
And you know what? Marta Jargai, she has been in this tournament one of the best three-point shooters. That's a defensive breakdown by Spain. They were supposed to switch.
By France.
By France. But poor communication between Ayayi and Joannes.
And Apupa gets blocked, gets the ball back. She ran into Palau. who went to her head like she'd been hit, and then shakes it off. And again, Marta Jargai, she says, hold the MVP ballots. I might have something to say about that. Coming out and scoring 6 quick points.
We saw her start hot in the quarterfinals. She had 10 points for them. I think 8 points at least in the first quarter, 10 at halftime. They didn't really need her after that.
So Nichols fouled by Indy Miem, the France captain. Laura Nichols is one of the many veterans. I mean, Miem has been around a long time for France, and here's Jargai. And he said, you know what? It's not a good idea to leave this player open. Well, the quick pass back to Palau, and she goes and scores. So a little bit of a breakdown for France on the inbounds play. Well, the pass over Jargai to Ayayi, and she is fouled. Both Ayayi and Jargai know each other well, of course, because they play against each other in the EuroLeague Women. Jargai was with Dinamo Kursk this year, and Ayayi played for Prague, and they both were at the EuroLeague Women Final Four. Johannes misses with her first attempt. Now the quick outlet pass up ahead to Palau, and Johannes goes down and tries to block it, but Spain able to get out and run.
I think this has kind of been disappointing defense so far for France. I mean, Johannes shot a ball in the corner and there was no one back, safety to play D, and just a good read by Palau leaking out.
Well, great job by Gruda to follow up her miss. Jargai, her third three-pointer! Boy, she has come out red hot. 3 threes in the first 2.5 minutes.
You know, if I'm Ayayi right now, she's the one having to guard Marta Jargai. You need to take a little bit of pride, and Ayayi has a little bit of a height advantage, a length advantage. You know, she needs to get up a little closer, use her long reach, and force Jargai into jump shots.
Johannes splits the defense and goes in. Oh boy, that was quality from Marine Johannes.
And since the semifinals, really, Jeff, it's been a new Marine Johannes, and
well, what about Nichols answering? And we saw this from Spain last night. Yeah. Answer every time Serbia scored. Now, great block by Endor on Indy Miem. Apupa tries to get the steal. Palau sneaks in and misses the jumper. Now Johannes in the open floor. This is where she thrives. Goes behind her back. A little runner. Oh, it rims out. And Anna Cruz with the rebound, but Johannes looking every bit the player that she did last night, which is a good sign for France. Nichols, mid-range, shooter's bounce. So France called timeout, trailing 17-8. This is not the #2 team in the FIBA Women's World Rankings for nothing, Spain. They're good, they're deep, they're talented. And it doesn't matter what end of the floor, what situation, they're out there to make plays.
Exactly, Jeff. And, you know, people, I think, kind of questioned Spain before this tournament started because they are missing Alba Torrens. And I think since the quarterfinals has hit, Spain have made people take notice that, there you see the field goal shooting, that, you know, they can do it without her. And other people have had to step up. But it's more just other people have had to take a little bit more responsibility, and we've always known they've been capable of scoring, especially someone like Marta Jargai. There you see 5-0 fast break points for Spain. So they were always capable of doing it, but now without Alba Torrens, who for a long time was kind of the leading scorer for Spain, now they're just getting an opportunity. That's all it is, and taking advantage of that. I mean, right there you saw the second three-pointer by Chargai. If you're a Yayi, you can't get hung up on the screen. It wasn't even that big of a screen there. 9 points early for Marta Chargai. You got to follow. I mean, she already knocked down 2 threes. How are you not following with a hand up and having some type of a desperation in your defense?
Nice coming out of the timeout, and Valerie Garnier was lighting a fire.
Really, it's not a bad start for Spain. They have 10 points in the first 4 minutes as well, but it's defensively where Spain have just come out flat. And I don't know if they don't expect Spain to play this hard.
Cooper with the rebound, so a little bit of chance here for France coming right back.
Excellent defense by Gruda, who we saw. I mean, really, her defense yesterday is what I think was a game changer for their win over GB.
Cooper drives in and is fouled. Well, you know, I think the body language is right from Apupa. I mean, she came out from the very beginning. And, I mean, the only one I question is Ayayi. Because, like you said,
she hasn't had touches yet on offense, but defensively, you're kind of questioning her, what do you want to say, readiness?
Yeah, I mean, you have to identify what your mission is. And if the player you're guarding drills 3 threes in the first 2.5 minutes, something's not right.
Yeah, and I said, you know, I think for France to win this game, they need to have good offensive contributions from about 3-4 players.
Laura Gill in the game for Spain. Ana Cruz. And Chargai just knows how to make plays. I mean, she was boxed out there, but still got the rebound. Now she's scrapping away with Johannes. And I think Johannes is going to be called for the foul. Jorge Garbajosa in the middle there, the president of the Spanish Basketball Federation and also the Spanish legend, really. Key man in their World Cup winning team in 2006 in Japan. And great play. And this is a great response from France. They've come out of the timeout. And again, and not to have a go at Ayayi, but I'll just say that certainly Apupa, Gruda, Johannes have that look that they mean business tonight.
We saw Endy knock down that shot out of their timeout.
Here's Gruda, and much better from Le Bleu. Gruda was just absolutely phenomenal against Belgium, and then defensively against Great Britain. And now an air ball from Palau, but the ball falls to Laura Gill, who goes up for the left-handed hook shot. And I know she tries that, but I'm not sure she's that successful with it.
Yeah, I think she knew the shot clock was kind of winding
beautiful
down.
pass. Look at Miem. She traveled. She was moving. If she wasn't going to travel, she might get the 3-second call. Maybe just pass it out if you're surrounded.
Yeah, there was 3 white defenders around her, and I think that's what she was trying to attempt to eventually do. Sylvia Dominguez checks into the game. And how good was she yesterday off the bench for them? She had 10 points at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Spain have had excellent performances from a whole cast of characters since they've arrived in Belgrade, including one from there, Cristina Uviña. You know, you highlighted her play last year at the World Cup in Tenerife being outstanding, and she certainly has gotten much better. But look at Gruda, the determination, turning and scoring. I really like the body language and the approach from Gruda tonight. You know, we talked about Astu Endure being a possible MVP. Well, so might Sandrine Gruda for France. Johannes with the rebound. She goes poetry in motion. She hands it off to Miem and goes in. And now the French have come back and forced Lucas Mondello to call timeout.
really, Gruda, that quarterfinal game was poetry in motion offensively for her. Here, she's the reason this opened up Endy Miam, because Gruda ran. Defense had to go with her. Endy does a great job of following the play as well, and kind of is the beneficiary of Gruda running the floor hard, that's what you want your bigs to do. You want them to play good defense, rebound, pass the outlet, and try and beat someone down the court. And right there, you had two French bigs running hard. And this is a gold medal game. That's what you need to do. There you see the shooting percentages. Couldn't be much closer.
Nope, exactly spot on. Spain with a 1-point lead. I think, obviously, the difference between France and Serbia maybe should be better defensively, I would think. And maybe more to offer down low. And I think what we're seeing from France is the ability to get the ball down low to Gruda, to Endy Miam, the penetration from Johannes. I mean, when they make this commitment, you know, I really think Sandrine Gruda has basically come out tonight and said, listen, I've had enough of this. This is our EuroBasket. We're going to win it. So this is going to be a great game. And Vinya, though, I mean, both teams so deep, so talented. It's no wonder they've made it to the final. She's come off the bench. Look at this reserve unit here now, with the exception of Johannes and me. Well, Bria Hartley in the game now, and Chartereau is in the game as well for France. So plenty of weapons coming from the bench for both teams. Johannes throws it over the head of Endy Miam and out of bounds. And really shown it at this level, if you don't have a deep bench at a EuroBasket, you're not going to win it. You might make a challenge, but you need to go at least 9 deep.
Oh, absolutely.
To have a chance to win the title.
We're seeing that right now.
9 deep of 9 quality deep.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Mondello has already played 8 players.
Great defense.
Same with Valerie Garnier.
Also in the game for France, the youngster, Bancole. Now Dominguez, look at her. So now out of the timeout, Spain has gone back in front by 6 points.
Both these teams won their group phase, so this will be their 6th game.
Johannes for 3! Her star is starting to rise again.
And those two know each other very well, because they just spent this year playing in Bourges, the last 2 years playing in Bourges together. So as far as, same with the coaching staff, I mean, they know each other.
Oh, what a finish from Marta Jargai with the left hand.
But that's what you have to do. She's come out and hit 3 threes already. You got to force her into driving, and I thought it was pretty good defense by Bancole. Maybe someone from France needs to come over and help once she got that deep, though.
And Endy Miam turns it over. Now Jargai in the middle of the court. And this time Chartereau got a hand in the face, but Astu Indoor steps out and hits the 3. And it's really a case of pick your poison. I mean, what do? You got to get out and get a hand in the face of all the Spain players. Hartley tries to answer with the 3. She hit the game-tying 3-pointer against Belgium in the quarterfinals to force overtime. Hartley, and now Spain throw the ball out of bounds. So to go back to France.
I feel like this might be one of the highest scoring quarters.
Well, Marta Jargai already has more points than any of her other appearances in a EuroBasket final. She had 8 points in 2013 and 2017. So she has 11 points right now. Gruda feels the defense, and great pressure by Spain. They put the pressure in the paint on Gruda, and then they didn't let up when the ball is out. And this is Indoor's soft touch. I mean, she's probably qualifies as Spain's poetry in motion, just like Johannes is for France. As to Indoor. Woo, look at the bounce pass. It was a little bit behind her. And Chevaujon was there ready to take it away. Now look at her spin. Gets it across midcourt and hands it off to Hartley. And runs into trouble. Boy, Laura Gil and Sylvia Dominguez really hounding. And the Spanish defense won that battle. That's 2 consecutive trips down the floor where Spain's defense has shut them down.
And if I'm Bria Hartley, I'm actually a little upset with my teammates because if it's an incredibly hard step out, she needs a release pass somewhere. And you saw Chartreux just kind of set the screen and run away. Her back was towards Hartley, so she didn't even know how strong of a step out by Laura Gil it was.
Well, Lavinia missed, but then the rebound by Jargai, and she spots Dominguez lined up on the wing, and now Spain have gone in front by 11. Hartley. Oh, she gets rejected by Astu Indoor. Right at the buzzer. And that was a message swat.
I mean, 32 points by Spain in a quarter.
Well, France have definitely had the gauntlet thrown down in front of them. They trail 32-21 at the end of an electric first quarter here in Belgrade.
We'll get a quick look at stats for you. Look at that, 75%, 6 of 8 from 3, 54%. France aren't shooting bad either, though, 53% from 2. So really, it's defense. Who's going to play better defense?
Well, Shona, we have watched a lot of great women's EuroBaskets, and, you know, early on in this tournament, I felt like this was a wide open tournament because nobody was really flexing their muscle, but I think basically both of these teams, and perhaps especially Spain, was just waiting to turn it up a notch. And because right now they look very, very good, and they would be the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, after a quarter like this, I don't think I've actually seen a better quarter, to be honest. Defensively, maybe Spain could have done a little bit more, but it's also been a great quarter offensively. 21 points is a good outing for France, but 32 points, really, it starts on defense for this French team if they don't want to let this game get out of hands. And you know, Spain, if they get a lead and a significant lead, they're incredibly difficult to come back against. I mean, at this level, you can't really come back when you let someone go on a scoring rampage. But I think it'll be difficult for Spain to keep up shooting at this kind of percentage. I mean, it's just incredible. 6 of 8 from the three-point line.
Foul. Dominguez bounce pass. And Chartreux, I think that's the aspect of her game where she can really help France and really cause problems for opponents with her size and her shooting ability. But she has to be able to play that sort of defense.
Chartreux,
yeah, in that low post. Pancolo has it, shot clock winding down. Gruda has to launch it, she does. And a little bit of contact there from Indoor. I tell you, they're letting them play. Bria Hartley explodes in. Beautiful take, but just didn't miss it. I mean, just didn't make it. Now Dominguez. Over to a wide open Jargai. And the French fans breathe a sigh of relief, but as often happens with Spain, when they miss those threes, they get the rebounds. Indoor misses, and this time Sandrine Gruda stepped up. And
this Spanish team had 22 offensive rebounds against a very large Russian team in the quarterfinals.
Chavajon drives in. That was a tough move. And now Spain missing some opportunities. Indoor, you can see she's frustrated with herself for missing that. Buncolo brings it across. Looks, she gets it to Gruda.
Bankole getting some significant minutes here early in the game, and she hasn't played a lot for them so far. There's a pretty good bump by Bankole on Astu Endor, but if she sort of turned around, she actually might have noticed that the bounce pass was coming in and could have picked it off. But you know, what I like here is that France have used 2 fouls. I think they maybe should have fouled a little bit more in the first half just to try and slow down the firepower that was Spain's shooting in the
Oh,
first
look at
quarter.
that, the play from Dominguez. Reaches in, he just kind of throws it off the back of a Pupa and gets a layup. Wow. That's got to be the play of the game.
That's got to be a highlight, yeah. So you see France have dropped back into a 1-2-2 type zone. Scary to do against a team that is very good at shooting threes.
Dominguez this time has the pass intercepted. Great pass, Chavajon to Hartley, and this time she stays with it and makes it. Boy, Chavajon's doing great. Feel free to correct my pronunciation there. Indoor over to Jargai. France taking a few shots, but they're still right there. Indoor gets it to Gill. Tremendous work by Spain to get that shot on the inside. Now the turnover, and Dominguez just flies in, gets swatted by a Pupa, but the contact sends her crashing to the ground. So she will go to the line.
And really, yesterday's game, Spain versus Serbia, I thought it was played at a very high level, great speed, aggressiveness, and you know, that's kind of how Serbia plays, and Spain were able to match them and even kind of up their style of play a level. And I was a little worried, you know, could France come out and match Spain's physicality, their speed? And I think they've done a pretty good job.
What kind of say is Johannes going to have in this game? If you're going to be successful against Spain, you have to be able to play fast. They're not going to allow you to slow it down. And Dominguez, who knows 2 speeds, fast and faster, makes both free throws. And great defense by Gil.
And that's 2 turnovers in a row for France. That's really not acceptable at this level. You can't have 2 consecutive turnovers.
You have to know.
Yeah.
Especially Gil. Well, the dump. Beautiful bounce pass. Oh. That is breathtakingly good.
I mean, really, 2 turnovers, which led to 4 points for Spain.
And now the bounce pass to Gruda. Good idea, but it was at her feet. So 3 turnovers now in a row. Jargai for 3. And Indoor just a little bit out of position there. And Pupa drives in and misses with the left hand. Now Palau. Left open, so she'll have a go. And Johannes went up for the rebound. Jargai went for it. I thought for a minute there they might call a foul on Jarguy because it looked like Johannes had both hands
control.
on the ball. Look at
Good
this
job,
pass.
Laudergill, realizing that her defender, Ndimiam, was the one who went over and had to help Apupa out because Jarguy has such a height advantage over her.
Foul in France, and you know it's we've seen some really good stuff tonight from France, but since that timeout, after France got it back to really close, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 points. Spain had just
1 point, yeah,
turned it up a notch.
That's the thing about this Spanish team. I mean, in group play, wasn't the same team. You watch the games, and we all kind of questioned.
Look at the effort from Palau. She doesn't give up on it. You know, you think these are little things, but they're not. They're huge things that Spain do so well. They're just relentless. And now Palau punishes them even further with the jump shot and a series of turnovers and, you know, inability to get rebounds.
The thing with Spain, they're so talented, and all of them can score. So let's say you do a good job defensively, but you give up the offensive rebound. Most likely, Spain aren't going to miss 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
You know, they're patient. They're going to wait for good shots. So if you give an offensive rebound up, they're going to score on you. And also the same thing, you know, you can play as well as you want, but if you turn the ball over, there you see turnovers, 3 turnovers for Spain compared to 8 for France. So if you're going to turn the ball over, you're also giving Spain, who has a great offensive team, more chances to score on you. And really, we've talked about it so much in this tournament. Turnovers and offensive rebounds against good teams, you're shooting yourself in the foot. There you see the bench points, 18 bench points for Spain.
Endure just 3 points, just 1 of 6 from the floor, but she's got the 2 blocks. It doesn't seem like she's had that type of struggle, but
she hasn't had to score either.
Here's the 1-3 that she hit. First time in 6 years for France at the EuroBasket that Laia Palau has scored more than 5 points. So Jarguy and Palau and everybody for Spain just seems to be on top of their game. Apupa, Badian, shot clock winding down. Apupa steps to her left, gets blocked.
And, you know, I understand them trying to go to Badian because it looked like she had a mismatch over Cruz, but you got to reverse the ball. You could only look at a mismatch for so long.
But also Spain are going to drop down and double. I mean, she had a couple players on her.
You saw Laudergill go as soon as she caught the ball. You got to be able to swing the ball and find the open man.
And look at the soft touch from the veteran. We're talking about Spanish players. I mean, yes, some of these French players has played at Olympics and World Cups, obviously, but you're talking about Spain players that have played Olympics, World Cups, and all these EuroBaskets and won titles and won medals and got to the podium. You know, what were they, silver in Rio? So this generation, although you can't really include Laia Palau in this generation, she was also in the last generation. But
and the generation before that almost.
They've had a lot of success.
They really have.
Christina Ovinha checks into the game. They're such a good team, Spain. They're such a good basketball program that they can afford to say, hey, Alba, Terence, if you want to take the summer off, take the summer off.
Yeah.
We'll go and get to the final without you. Here's Johannes. Oh, beautiful handoff. Yayi. She's got to do better. And Badian doesn't stop Ana Cruz. So now the lead is 17 points.
Look at that. 12 fast break points already for Spain in this contest. And
Gruda drills the jump shot.
And you know, traditionally, I would say France is a very, very strong defensive team. But for them to have already given up 12 fast break points with still 3 minutes in the second quarter, it's going to be a long night if they're going to continue to play like that defensively.
Well, there's blood in the water for Spain. They can see it, but France have really got to knuckle down now and play defense. And try to get some execution here, but if you turn the ball over, it leads to opportunities for Spain. And Badian might have been lucky to get away without a foul being called there. Look at the quick hands of Gil.
But really, it's starting on the defensive end for Spain. They're doing such a good job of trapping the mismatch.
Look at this. Uvinia again, open. Well, great rebound from Badian under pressure. Yayi drills the three. Well, that's good from her. She's got to step up and make some plays. There's misses, but follows up to miss. Great hands of Pupa. Shot clock winding down, and give Pupa credit. It's not inconceivable that France can chip into this lead if they really knuckle down, and that was a huge shot for Yayi. I mean, Garnier is basically just like, we need you to come out and do something for us tonight. Foul. Here's Johannes. Johannes now throws it right into the hands of Laia Palau, who goes across midcourt. Great hustle from Pupa, though, to get back. And now the foul called on Astu Endor. You can't ask for any more from Pupa. She is tremendous.
Yeah, you know, I talked, I think it was in the quarterfinals. I said, she only has this like one energy, and it's all the way up here. Every play, she's going 100%. And by no means is this game out of reach for France.
Oh, great play by Gruda.
You know, as a coach and as players, after a very, very good defensively and offensively first half for Spain, if you're France, you want to go into halftime 10 points or less.
You can see with Laura Nichols. I think she's actually got a point there. She was moving her feet, and Gruda made her move, and she wrote, she raised her right arm. She really did stick her in the sternum, didn't she?
Honestly, Gruda's elbows are famous.
Yeah.
Every post defender who has played against Gruda knows about her elbows.
And rarely does she miss free throws, and she just missed one. Tamara Baldi in the game, who's played very well for Spain. So back to an 11-point game. See if the French can get a stop. Uvinia. Baldi sets the pick. Uvinia, tough shot, and it bounces over Johannes and back into the hands of Spain. How many offensive rebounds are they going to have tonight? Oh, what a pass. Look at that one as well. Wide open. Cruz! Oh, my goodness.
I mean, really, Jeff.
You just have to applaud them.
You do, but Spain aren't going to miss often. And if you let them get offensive rebounds, it's not possible. You can't win a game.
Now into Yayi. She gets it over to Pupa. Great rebound from Gruda, and she will go to the line.
You know, that's Spain's 8th offensive rebounds. They already have 6 steals and 5 blocks in this game.
So I really think it's worth repeating. I mean, I just don't think you can expect Gruda to do more than she's doing in Pupa. The others have got to raise their games. I mean, she's got these rare misses at the line, but
really, but this tournament I have been impressed with Sandrine Gruda. I mean, win or lose, she's still a candidate for MVP of this EuroBasket tournament. We saw her have a personal best in the overtime win in the quarterfinals against Belgium, 33 points. And then the semifinal, I thought defensively she played great. Offensively, she struggled a little bit, but you know, when you're known as an offensive player, to be able to play the defense that she did, I think shows really her all-around skill.
Well, Johannes called for the foul there on Indoor. Watch this.
Okay. That's her second foul. I'm going to imagine Coach Garnier is going to leave her in. There's only 30 seconds left. You know, if you're if you're France, you have 30 seconds left. You don't want to shoot fast. You want to use the majority of that 30 seconds. Obviously, you have to get the shot up before the 24-second shot clock, but you also don't want to shoot too early where Spain are going to have the opportunity to run down and score, because we know how fast they can get the ball down the court.
Chartereau into Bruda. Oh, powerful move, goes up and not able to finish that time because Indoor made an outstanding block.
Here in Serbia, you would call that a banana.
Would you?
And another banana by
I think
Yayi.
Yayi got away with one there. I heard the slap all the way up here at midcourt. But Spain, I think they have poured 50 points in the first half. And that just should not happen against that French defense. That's what they'll be telling themselves. Spain lead it 50-36 at halftime.
We'll take a quick look at stats here after 20 minutes of play. I mean, really, look at that. 47% from three, that's enormous. 52% from the field. Haven't gone to the free throw line lot because they haven't, but France is still shooting a good percentage from two, 52%. Rebounds more or less equal, except 8 offensive rebounds is way too many against a good shooting team, because you're just giving them more opportunities to score. 15 assists already for Spain in this game. I think the biggest stats for me are the 10 turnovers that France has committed and the 8 offensive rebounds that Spain has been able to get. There you see the leaders, Chargai, she had those 9 points, in the first minute and a half? 12 points for Gruda. Dominguez did a great job for them off the bench with 9 points. So, you know, if I'm going into the locker room and if I'm the coaching staff of France, being down 14 is actually okay, considering they handed the ball on turnovers, allowed Spain to play fast and fast break, and that's Spain's style. They want to play fast, they want to run. You can't let them do that, but really, when they haven't turned the ball over, they're shooting a decent percentage from two, so if they can hold on to the ball, box out, maybe run a little bit themselves, they're going to be right back in the game. But really, for a team that historically has been known, for a country that has historically been known for their defense, 50 points at halftime for Spain is just way, way, way too much. You can't give that up and expect to win a game.
Well, you mentioned the turnovers and the offensive rebounds, and when you look, Shona, at the points off the turnovers, 14 points off those turnovers for Spain, and 3 points off turnovers for France. So we know that that's how Spain play. They want to put pressure on you. They want to get the easy points in transition. And then when you talk about also the second chance points after the misses, and they have 8 of those, you know, that's half of their points in this game. It's almost half, 22 points. And so, you know, France have you would think they would have a very good bench.
Yeah, I mean, they do.
But 18 points coming from the Spanish bench, and 6 for France.
Honestly, the way Spain played in that first half, France are lucky to only be down 14. I'm not sure if Spain can continue to shoot at the high percentage that they're shooting at. That being said, France needs to pick up their defense. They need to make it a little bit more difficult for Spain.
And also, just real quickly, okay, so we talk about the points coming from the bench. Look at who their points are coming from the bench. Sylvia Dominguez, 9 points. She was terrific also yesterday. And then you've got Laura Gil with 4 points and Cristina Uvina with 5 points. And you look at the likes of Chartereau, who is coming from the bench for France. She hasn't even taken a shot. She's a scorer.
Yeah, more than anything, I think Chartereau's ability is her shooting, especially her three-point shooting. But I think Spain's defense, offensively, Spain have been fun to watch, incredible. But defensively, they've done a great job because I think they've frustrated France and forced France into difficult passes and lots of turnovers. So, we can talk all we want about Spain's offense, but really it started from their defense.
Well, when I first started covering the European women's game back in early 2000s, it was really Russia that kind of ruled the roost. And you watched how Russia played, and they were big, they were strong, they were intimidating, they were physical.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like tournament after tournament after tournament, they were going to be extremely difficult to beat. And they just kind of ruled the roost, really. They won so many titles during that time, and you just never figured that the time would come that another team, another reign would come, but it really has come with Spain, hasn't it?
Yeah.
This is proof positive that they've been able to come out in this tournament and really turn it up in the from the quarterfinals on, and put on this type of performance.
Because really, watching them early in this tournament, you kind of question, like, wow, they must be really missing Alba Torrens. I think Lucas Mondello does a good job of kind of keeping some tricks in his pockets until the quarterfinals hits. And he's just somehow been able to elevate the intensity level of his Spanish players, and that's what we saw in the quarterfinals, we saw in the semifinals, and even here tonight, they've come out and are playing on a different level than France are.
Well, Spain already weathered the storm, playing against Serbia last night in front of a very boisterous crowd.
Yep.
But from their standpoint, those are the moments that you live for as a basketball player. You want to be out there in those games. And in fact, Alba Torrens, who's doing work back in the studio back in Spain, was talking about how she was those types of games. And, when she watched that, she's thinking, maybe I should have gone.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have been there for that. But Spain is certainly a team for the big occasion, and we'll see if France, what they have in them, and if they can come back and make it a game. Hopefully they will. So we're at halftime, 50-36. We'll be right back before the start of the second half. Brooks goes right at indoor. Tough shot! Oh my goodness, that is the shot of the game. Elderbrink goes behind her back, puts it up. Big time shot! She nailed it! And what a pass, and it finishes with Andor. Boy, put that on the highlight reel. Spanish basketball. Oh, look at the pass again. Oh my goodness me. That is ridiculous. The greatest showwoman. Got miscommunication, and Johannes was there. Oh boy, isn't she special?
Look at this.
Well, Marta Jargai has 11 points, the most points she's ever scored in a FIBA Women's EuroBasket final before. And we're only at halftime. She came out and stroked 3 3-pointers in the first 2.5 minutes and helped Spain build an early lead. And they lead at 50-36 at the break over France. All is not lost for France if they can come out, play some defense, cut down their turnovers and rebound. But that is easier said than done against a team like Spain, who have been in this position before. You might remember, and as recently as 2017, when these two teams met in Prague, Spain won that FIBA Women's EuroBasket final as well. So France have not put all of their effort into this summer to get run out of the gym in the Belgrade Arena, and they will be coming out and giving everything over the next 20 minutes. So I fully expect a great fight by them. And from Sandrine Gruda, who has 12 points. She's 5 of 8 from the floor. She has the 5 rebounds. She's doing all she can. She just needs some help. We've seen Olivia Pupa come out and give some great minutes. It looked like Johannes for a while might take off as well. She had a couple of exciting plays, but that's the thing about Spain. It seems like everybody's on top of you. And even the players coming from the bench, they just do not let up at all. So 2.5 minutes away from the start of the second half, and the French fans, they haven't given up hope. And Jorge Garbajosa looking on with perhaps a sense of satisfaction as the Spanish Basketball Federation president there, but also with the realization that there's still a ways to go before we call this one. The team that has been leading at halftime in the last 6 EuroBasket finals has won the game. And Spain have won all 38 of their EuroBasket games where they were leading by 10 or more points at halftime. So that's a couple of statistics that will send a chill down the spine of all the French fans. Also, this is the first time that France have given up 50 points in the first half of a knockout stage game at the EuroBasket. So it's been pretty tough viewing for the fans of Le Bleu.
On continue sur ce qui est glissé. Et les filles, quand il y a une joueuse qui part ici, on en a parlé. On est sur les lignes de passe, on laisse les gens incontraints. On ne vient pas aider pour offrir un panier à 3 points.
It's also interesting that Spain, only the third team to score 50 or more points by halftime of the EuroBasket final since the Soviet Union did so. They scored 57 in 1985, and Yugoslavia scored 53 in 1991.
I mean, really, Jeff, I don't think this game is out of reach by any means. France need to take care of the ball, and they need to box out. That being said, Spain are so talented that it's hard to come back against the best teams in the world, no matter how good you are.
And some famous players. Timothy Luawu Cabarot from was a France international and also plays in the NBA, or has been in the NBA. He's here watching his compatriots tonight and has a pretty good seat, front row. So second half underway, Bria Hartley starts. And France attacking the basket to the right. They have possession. No time like the present for them to get going. Bancolo as well. Starts for France, and Bancolo, in fact, they get the ball inside to Gruda.
Good job by France there. I mean, they ran the offense. I think it's interesting that Coach Garnier has gone with Bancole at the 3. Maybe she just wants someone a little bit more physical and aggressive on defense compared to how maybe Ayayi started the first half, Jeff.
That's a great call by the ref, in fact. It went off of, yeah, I think you're right. That's why they started Bancole. Yeah. But that was a great call by the ref. He saw the ball go off the fingertips of Indoor. And again, they feed it down low. Miem is going to go right at her opponent. And France have cut it back to 10 points. So the ideal start by the French. They can't let up. They've got to keep this type of intensity.
No, and when you're down, you need to get consecutive stops in a row and scores. So here, I actually think this is a pretty big possession for France if they're able to get a stop.
Well, Anna Cruz went past Johannes, but then passed it out, and then Laia Palau ends up going in for the layup. Palau again, and great defense by Gruda this time. Now the pass up ahead to Johannes. Oh, what a pass, and what a reception. And you feel like every time she is going to make the layup, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And for some reason, every time she goes in for a layup, it's this kind of spectacular.
It is. She only does spectacular things,
yes.
Johannes.
Nothing is simple in her repertoire.
Jargai misses, and I like the physicality that France have on the court with Bancole. It's added an element of toughness, and her assignment is to guard Jargai. Look at Hartley get past and going for the layup. Outstanding work by France.
Yeah, I feel this first 2.5 minutes for France, they just came out with a different mentality, and I don't think they wanted to be embarrassed.
Well, she's not going to be shut out, and Bancole perhaps lost sight of Jargai.
You can't get hung up on a screen.
No.
At this level, you have to be able to fight through them.
Well, that was a foul called on Laia Palau. So Some substitutions here is Hartley. That was
It was
the
also
look.
a great pass from Hartley to lead a sprinting Joannas. Three-point shot attempt by Joannas.
France have been successful going inside. Now here's Jargai. France cannot give away an open look here. And Sandrine Gruda comes out on the perimeter and fouls Ana Cruz. I was actually right in front of Timothy Luawu, who I was just talking about, Luawu Cabarro, who I'm reliably informed, and it's true, from our colleague Mick Bett, watching this back in Canada. He says, hey, don't forget, Jeff, Timothy played in Serbia. And sure enough, he did. He played for Megalex. So that's the foul. Here's Dominguez. Ana Cruz. Bounce pass. Oh, what a play. What a play.
And what a shot, too, by Chargai. I mean, that was a difficult kind of floating layup.
Hartley just felt the pressure and just went all the way and gets a chance for a three-point play.
Great ball handling by Hartley as well to kind of beat the double team behind her back. Look at this.
This is terrific. Look at this. I don't know what in the world Lucas Mondella was complaining about.
See,
there.
I think that's a foul. You know,
that was
Sylvia Dominguez looked
an
like,
amazing
well, what
play
did I do?
by Hartley.
But you got to take advantage.
And she doesn't, and Gruda had her hands on it, couldn't bring it in, and now it's a
And now it's a
3-on-2
three.
break.
Yeah.
Jargai to Cruz, missed everything.
And they really got lucky there because that's the kind of pace and the advantages that normally Spain.
Oh, shaking and baking, look at her. Bria Hartley. Dominguez doing a good job. She wasn't going to be crossed up, but here she gets to pick. Now they dump it off to Gruda. Beautiful play. Pick and roll. Back to 8 points, the deficit. The pass to Cruz. She just missed one from there, so she brings it back out. 6 on the shot clock. Dominguez look. She gets in the paint. Over to Gill. France will give that up. And can you believe it? Laura Gill. The one player you probably won't shooting the jump shot makes it. Well, you got to applaud Gill. She is playing hard. Bria Hartley. Over to Gruda. And that's a victory for Spain. I mean, Gruda can hit that shot, but you know what? Spain would rather have her taking that shot
Than something around the basket.
Yeah. Jargai just gets a minute. Oh, she knocks it in.
And you know what? Bankole is doing a great job following Chargai off down screens, stagger screens, whatnot, but then she gets hit with an on-ball screen, and I don't know why, but she went under the screen. And from a shooter, no hesitation, you're going to go up with that shot.
Oh, tremendous, tremendous work by Bria Hartley there. She turned left, she saw the double team, she turned right, and then she took the punishment while going up for the shot. She draws the foul. And here's Bria Hartley at the line. She's really up for the fight. Here you go. Look at this. Well, this was before when she made the pass down low. And really, the player who loses out in this situation for France is Ayayi with Bankole in.
Yeah, I mean, off ball, I think Bankole has done a great job. Just that last on ball where Chargai knocked down the three, I don't know why she got hit and then decided to go under the pick. You got to follow on a shooter. I mean, Chargai has come out on fire from three. You have to force her off the three-point line, and the way you do that is you got to follow on on-ball screens. You got to use the screen the exact same way the offensive player does.
Foul called on France. So Dominguez, that's the thing about Spain. They put pressure on you for 40 minutes on both ends of the floor. Dominguez had so many successful runs with Spain's youth teams, and it wasn't long before she made her bow with the senior team, and she has been a member of this Spanish national team for a long time, with no signs of slowing down. I mean, you could argue this has been her best performance with Spain this summer.
Yeah, well, I mean, last summer, we found out that she was kind of had a nagging injury all throughout preparation. It was still bothering her at the World Cup, but really, I think she's healthy. And it's showing in her performance.
Hartley, a naturalized player from New York, and the ball bounces over the backboard. And Spain did a great job defensively, not giving away a good shot there. And Hartley, the under-19 USA gold medal winner in 2011 from North Babylon, New York, gets back to play some defense. Look at this. That's terrific.
Yeah. I mean, a good call by the ref, too, a lot of times when you swing aggressively, I think some refs think it's a foul automatically.
Chargay in it to Quirrell. Casas! And again, the word relentless comes to mind with Spain. It doesn't matter how many times.
I mean, another person off the bench.
Quirrell Casas. Johannes, and off the hands of Charteroux, and now it's Dominguez, and Chargay splits the D, and the foul has been called. Yayu back in for France as well. And here's a thought for you, Shona, and I'd like to know what you think about this. Out of all the successful runs, look at this. Quirrell Casas all the way out, and
it was close to a 5-second call.
Yep, and goes in. Out of all the successful runs, the titles by Spain, this one might just be the most impressive, and it's without signature players like Amaya Valdemoro or Alba Terens. They've come out here and look in the knockout round really as good as they've ever looked. I mean, let's be honest.
You and I covered them a lot last year in the FIBA. There you see the top scorers, 16 points for Gruda at the FIBA World Cup. And I have to admit, since the quarterfinals, since that win, 18 points for Chargay, they've impressed in every aspect of the game, though. It's not just offensively, and it's not one player, too. I mean, Astu Endor, I guess statistically has been the best player for Spain throughout this tournament, but there you see Chargay's numbers, 4-7 from three-point.
She's playing herself in an MVP consideration.
Yeah, no, she really is. So what impresses me the most is that everyone has elevated their game. It started on defense. Defense led to rebounding, and then offensively, they've just been so strong, and everyone has knocked down shots for them. I mean, Ana Cruz in the semifinals, Ovinha when she's been in, Casas when she's been in, Silvia Dominguez, especially the last two games. Marta Chargay, we saw her start incredibly well for Spain yesterday. Same within the quarterfinals. Tonight, she has been relentless. There's no other word other than impressive.
Well, and it was interesting. We saw a graphic. I wasn't able to talk about it, but it's the free throw shooter. In Spain at the line tonight, 7 of 8. France, 5 of 9. So even at the free throw line, they're getting the job done. Priya Hartley looks up at the shot clock. And it's going to be something one-on-one. Priya Hartley steps back. Oh, man, that was quality from Priya Hartley. I know she had that big shot, the three-pointer that she made against Belgium, but she is playing with a sense of drive and purpose tonight that quite possibly this is her best game ever for France. She's got 12 points, 3 assists. And Astou Indoor misses. Epupa in there. France just have to keep playing hard.
Yeah.
And a turnover like that gives you gray hairs if you're Valerie Garnier. Who I might add doesn't appear to have any. Here we go. Casas. Now France will settle for that. Casas shooting the jump shot. Oh, beautiful play again. Oh, goodness me. Bria Hartley is just terrific. She's got 14 points.
And do you know what I like? She hasn't settled for any outside jump shots. I think she's done a really good job, especially in the second half, being aggressive, trying to get to the basket.
Dominguez off the back of the iron, and comeback for France might be in the offing here. Hartley again. Oh, what a pass from Hartley to a Yayi. Yayi, terrific job getting the ball and throwing it back to Hartley. Hartley's, again, feeling the defense, whips it out to Epupa. Charteroux, oh, she passed it up. A Yayi for 3. Charteroux gets it again to a Yayi. Splits the defense, puts up a crazy shot, and almost gets it to fall.
And really, if France want to give themselves crawling back into this game, here you see the wild acrobatic shot by Ayayi. They need to offensive rebound.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Bria Hartley's coming out maybe for a short breather, but I'll tell you one thing right now. If I'm Valerie Garnier, I don't even think think about leaving Bria Hartley out of the game.
I mean, keep in mind she did check in.
I let her sit down for like a minute and get her back.
I think this is my thinking. There's a minute left in this quarter. Give her a breather plus the the timeout in between quarters, the minute 30 that they get. So that's catch her breath. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts the fourth or at least comes in very early in the fourth.
Well, we talk about the free throw game, and we also unfortunately talk about Yayi's struggles, and she's just missed 2. She went from having a potential 3-point play to no points. So her frustrating night continues. 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting. And Jargai goes out of the game. Laya Palau comes back in. Indy Miem will come in and spell Sandrine Gruda briefly. I don't think France can afford to have Bria Hartley out of the game. I mean, she needs to come back ASAP. Gill misses the first one. So 1 of 2, and it's a 14-point game right now. Spain on top. Final minute of the third quarter. Yayi probes, takes the contact, but she's got to make her free throws. And Astou Indoor needs to be careful. And Spain flirting with the technical. We saw him get one last night, Mondello. Look at Lloris. She's not. If this continues, there will be a technical called. That much we know. Now, Yayi takes her time and makes the first one. 3 fouls on Astou Indoor. And much better from Vala Yayi. Big play, Epupa defensively getting over.
But those are the kind of plays you need right now. You need to play smart, but you need to play aggressive and try and go for steals, try and make things uncomfortable for Spain. I mean, right now, the worst thing that could happen is if you give up a 2 or a 3, probably the last offensive possession for that. And then you put them to the line.
goes without saying that is not a good play by Chartereau. Tamara Balde has played surprisingly well for Spain. I mean, I say that because she's been out of the national team for so long. She's come back. And she misses this one. That foul might end up doing France a favor. She misses both of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get the ball back, but so is Spain.
Oh, she misses both, but at least they can take it deep in the shot clock. Of course, we know that Spain can get the ball up the floor quickly.
Yeah.
Johannes. And we'll see if they do take it deep to the shot clock. Down to 10. Mian. Kapupa does a good job. Strength. She's got everything she needs except the finish.
Yeah.
And we've seen it quite a few times in this tournament. Great play by Dominguez. Oh, and that's the difference. That is the difference, folks. At one end, the finish isn't there, and at the other, you get a veteran like this player right here, Sylvia Dominguez, knocking it in. And she's got 13 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of assists. Boy, she's had a great EuroBasket, Sylvia Dominguez.
Quick look at the stats.
Si jamais on doit accélérer le jeu sur du point de côté, si on joue le point haut, il faut le jouer très haut.
Spain still staying hot, 58%. France shooting 59%, sorry, but it's a 3-point shooting advantage for Spain. Well, Jeff, there's 10 minutes left. France are only down 14. I felt a momentum after, the beginning of that third quarter, and then it was, Spain just settled down and took over again.
They did. And a Krupa call for a foul, Dominguez. Dominguez again gets into territory. Into the trees, they end up with a Jargai 3, and that is just.
And it's so deflating because France played really good defense there. They did.
And now the travel is called on Ayayi.
And then that woman right there. I mean, this is with 2 seconds left. And decent defense by Alexia Chartereau to get out, but that is how good Marta Jargai is.
23 points from Marta Jargai. Traveling. But it is a 17-point game right now in favor.
If I'm Coach Garnier, I mean, really, you can't in my opinion, leave Bruda on the bench for too long. Maybe Bria Hartley needs to come back in.
They made their comeback with Bria Hartley, and I said at the time, I don't know how tired she is, but you need to get her back ASAP.
Yeah.
And since she's gone out, the lead has, I think, grown by another 5 or 7 points. So all that great work, but anyway.
And, I mean, Andy Miam, she's 3 of 4. She hasn't got that many looks, but she's shooting the ball well. She is the captain of this France team. This is her 5th EuroBasket final. She was there in 09, 2013, 15, and 17. In the last 30 years, there are only 2 other players who have played in that many EuroBasket finals. So, we talk about Bruda being around for so long and being at such a high level for this French national team, but don't forget about the captain, Andy Miam.
Yeah, tremendous. Johannes for 3. Very strong rebound from Andy Miam. France might come back and win this, but yeah, in terms of the MVP voting, I would guess the way she's played tonight, Marta Jargai, she's probably right now moved into pole position, remembering that she had double digits, 11 points and 10 points in the win over Russia and Serbia, respectively. And she was 2 of 7 from 3 in those, but she's got 23 points tonight.
And she has averaged 12.4 in this tournament.
Yeah.
Obviously Astu Endor, 17. I guess she would be the other consideration just because of if you're looking at points per game. But she only has 4 points tonight, 3 fouls, so we haven't seen her a whole lot. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to Marta Jargai.
Yeah, that would be.
I would have a big nod for.
There's the French contingent there, suffering. Watching this, Jean-Pierre Switat. There's Elisa Aguilar. You see her sitting down, the red shirt, former Spain point guard.
4th EuroBasket in a row for France, where they could possibly be bringing home the silver medal.
You know what? And I have to say, you don't want to underestimate that achievement. I mean, that's...
Oh, it's still incredible. I mean, just to be in that situation is a record.
Oh, so frustrating for them that if they do not knock off Spain, it'll be the 3rd time in the last 4 EuroBaskets that they have lost in the final to Spain. And good defense by France. Bria Hartley. Oh, that was Zapupa with a hold on Nichols. It's kind of like a drag race, really, the way Spain have approached this. I mean, when the opening tip was made, they were like a drag racing car. They just exploded.
And they got faster as this race has gone on.
I mean, you have to match them with their intensity, their pace. And you have to be ready to go immediately. You can't afford to fall behind.
You can't, like I said, against the best teams in the world, you can't get behind because they're just so strong defensively. And I think France's biggest issue in the first half were those turnovers and then letting them offensive rebound whenever they felt like going. And that's really what got them down, I think, because France had a good half, to be honest. I mean, they shot the ball well.
But if you look at the prototypical Spanish player, it's not a huge team, but you've got You've got some, quite a bit of experience out there right now. You've got really quick, long players like Cruz. I mean, Nichols isn't, she doesn't have a lot of polish to her offensive game, but she is an absolute tiger defensively.
She's one of those. I mean, she plays the most for the Spanish team in almost all tournaments, and there's a reason. And the things that she does don't show up on the stat sheet, but I think she's, one of Coach Lucas Mondelo's most trusted players. There you see the leaders. Gruda, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I mean, other than the steal category, Gruda is leading France in all categories. And then the leaders for Spain, 23 points, Laura Gil with 9 rebounds, Cruz with 4 assists. And look at that, Gil also with 5 steals. But honestly, Laura Gil and Laura Nichols are so similar in the fact that the things that they do, especially defensively, rebounding-wise, offense, maybe they're not the biggest threats, but they're very capable of making the right read at the right time, and they facilitate the offense so well, even though they're not threats.
Johannes, 7 points. She came into this game with high hopes after her performance in the semifinals. 20 points, 5 assists, 5 steals. Excuse me, yeah, 5 steals. It's been all Spain. Shooter's bounce makes it an 18-point lead, 6:45 to go. I think it's safe to say that the clock is now becoming the enemy for France. They have to get a run. Bria Hartley. Indy Mia, 3-pointer from her. So back to a 15-point game. Now they need to stop. 9 points for Mia. Offensive foul, and that turns it right back over to France.
And
Stops the clock.
Her 4th foul on
4 fouls on Endor. Well, it may have been fortunate to get that call. They even out.
The Pupa maybe exaggerated the hit a little bit.
Aparición rápida, trabajo. Vamos a mandar la que sea defendida por el Poupa, se va a esquina como un 3 y ataca el directo.
Look at that bench scoring, 11-point advantage for Spain.
I think it's actually gotten better for France, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because Bria Hartley.
D'accord? En fait, on descend la balle
Making assists.
que si la joueuse elle peut prendre un tir, en l'occurrence celle-ci.
17
Sinon, on vient jouer
favorite
là.
Spain.
Dans le turn, j'ai demandé à Marine de te pousser là. Ça veut dire qu'il y a Bria ici, ça veut dire que dans le deuxième, il y a Marine. Allez, 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 allez.
Johannes whips it back to Indy Mia. Fotu came in, challenging Nichols. And Fotu then grabs hold of Palau.
And you know, when you're the team that's down, you want to stop the clock and get to the free throw line. You don't want to stop the clock for the other team. Here, kind of an interesting substitution. We see Foutu getting a few minutes in the finals. One of the young up-and-coming point guards for France. Her dad, a well-known French international player.
Good job battling for the ball, but it goes back over to Spain. So Laura Gil, who is the type of player really that kind of embodies Spain's national team, I think, in terms of her toughness more than anything, which makes her an automatic pick always for Lucas Mondelo. Makes both free throws. Rebound, and Spain with 4:49 remaining and up 78-59, closing in on another European title. Cruz, ball bounces up off the top, and Uvinia picks up the ball and scores.
But I mean, where were the French French rebounders? You saw Endymiem hanging outside. Marine Joannes, she was the one who was the closest to Anna Cruz, who let that three go up. Cruz wasn't even boxed out, went in, got a hand on her own rebounds.
So with 4 minutes remaining, 21-point advantage for Spain. Showing everybody why they're number 2 in the world. And
I think they've played better here than they did last summer.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think as Laia Palau at 40 years of age goes in and banks it in, you know, listen, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And Spain are the best, let's face it. And really the question that you have, even though they didn't make it through the final last year, I think that was kind of a blip for Spain at the World Cup.
Yeah.
You have to wonder, where are they in relation to the United States now? And are they closing the gap? Are they, because they've been terrific. I mean, they're doing this without Alba Torrens. So it also gives you something to think about moving forward without Alba. I mean, there's no question that she will come back into the team, but look at this. 10 offensive rebounds for Spain, 35 overall.
A rebounding advantage of 11 over France. I mean, it's surprising to me.
Podemos hacer algún pío side. Algún pío side también ahora, ¿de acuerdo?
21 points from the bench for Spain.
Ahora estarán más abiertas. Dos triples.
I think as long as Dinah Taurasi and Sue Bird are in that USA team,
Marta Chargai will be, Laia Palau will be around.
I don't know that anybody will beat USA, but at the end of the day, I think one thing is for sure, and it's that Spain are getting better. Look at this. I mean, that is a dream line for Laura Gil. 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Yeah, and
that
you know,
was
she's
impressive.
shooting. She's 5 of 8 from the field.
Sorry, that was 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 steals, not assists, 5 steals. That is an impressive line. She's plus 21. The only player with a higher rating than Laura Gil tonight is Marta Jargaj, plus 28. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Shona, and I don't know how you feel about this, but in my mind, probably, I don't know that she will get the MVP, but I'm thinking I would give it to Jargaj. Just because she's come out and played huge in this huge game. I mean, over the course of the tournament, maybe her points aren't as high, although she did start off with 31 and win over Ukraine.
Yeah.
But she just does so many things, and tonight, in their biggest moment of the tournament, Spain,
Never forces it.
no. She's got a block, a steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. I might have said Astu Indoor before this. She hasn't had her best game, though. I still probably put her on my All-Star 5. Well, the fake from Gruda. And I probably have Gruda on my All-Star 5 as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Gruda has been the most consistent French
Look at this.
player.
So we've got the Serbians, Jelena Brooks with her baby, and the Serbians. Nice of them to join us. They've come out with their accreditations, and they'll soon be getting their medals.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think right now? France had this, you know, a lot of people didn't even think they would get to the final. So I think they have to be happy that they got to the final. And I think for long stretches of this game, they played well. But I don't know if you have to
if I'm
reset
France
the chip or whatever,
yeah.
change the chip. Because what they've got going against Spain isn't working.
No, you know, if I'm involved in the French system, and if I'm a French basketball fan, I gotta be disappointed. I mean, it's been 10 years since they last got gold. They've been in the finals 4 times previous to this. You gotta figure it out. They have to be disappointed, and like you said, maybe it's some serious changes that need to happen.
Well, I mean, just maybe a slightly different approach. I don't know. I'm not blaming anybody. And look at Ovinia reach in. They just don't stop. Look at that. Look at the intensity. Somos Familia, or I think they call it La Familia, the family. Everybody in Spanish basketball. Everybody. Growing crowd, and a block has been called on Ovinia.
You know, I watched this Spanish team play, and they just know how to play with each other. And it's because, you know, the good core of this team have been together for so long that, you know, I think Lucas Mondello is a good coach, but I'm not sure how much he really needs to coach this team, because it's poetry in motion, really. Their offense, they know exactly where everyone is going to be. They know how to get the ball to each other in their strengths. Defensively, they know that they're going to have help behind them, you know, so they're able to take some risks.
I have to tell you, Shona, I think without Lucas Mondello, I'm not sure this Spain team plays nearly as well.
It's the same.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
I'm not
if it
saying
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes,
if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Yes.
I just think it's obvious that they've been together so long as well.
So close, but yet so far from France. They can barely bear to watch as another title at the FIBA Women's EuroBasket is not going to be theirs. It's going to be their rivals, Spain.
I'm not sure if it's a little bit of a mental block for this French team as well.
I don't think it is. I think it's more of a case of Spain were more ready tonight than France. I thought France were ready to play, but they played fast. Spain, you got to play. I mean, they play at a speed. They play faster, and I think what's happened with Spain as well is they've added a level of physicality to their game that wasn't there maybe as recent as 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, they're more physical now than they've ever been.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you just have to sit back and applaud them. Look at this. This is coming off the bench. And they are
two offensive rebounds.
Yep. And they are, these players are playing as if they were starters. There's Pena going up and getting fouled by Johannes.
And that's Marie Johannes. 5th foul.
Well,
she has to be disappointed with herself.
Jorge Garbajosa will be giving some abrazos to a lot of people tonight. And the chance of Campeones coming from the Spanish section tonight. And
what really is incredible to me is that the best player throughout this tournament for them has been Astu Endor. And she has 4 points, 4 fouls, and has only played 22 minutes for them. She's 1 of 8. And they still are up 22.
Yeah. The talent, I think the talent is there for France, and I think it just needs to be a slight change the chip somehow. I mean, I think they need to try something different. And I'm not saying try a new players, a new coach, or whatever, but they definitely need to maybe try a change. They've got to recognize why they're coming up short against Spain. They got to be able to play faster. They got to cut down their mistakes. They got to be ready for the physicality.
Yeah.
And Lucas Mondello just looks over and says, "Been there, done that."
I mean, as far as in the last 7 years, I'm not sure if there's a more successful coach in the international women's game.
Yeah, quite possibly not. And just imagine the
Okay,
adversity.
Gino Auriemma, but
he doesn't compete though, like in the continental.
Yes, no, he's not there every summer, where Spain have shown up every summer.
I guess it's kind of hard to compare regions, isn't it?
Well, okay, definitely in Europe, there is no one even close to the success that he has had. His longtime assistant says,
Spain have done it again, folks. I tell you what, France came out, they punched hard, the focus, the intensity, but Spain just play at that faster pace. Their players are just getting better and better. They win it 86-66. That is 3 FIBA Women's EuroBasket titles since 2013. And for Valerie Garnier, they made it to the final, and that's an achievement that shouldn't be dismissed.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't think France would make it. They did barely just get past Belgium.
it would have been interesting to see what France could have done with Siak.
Yeah, true. Elena Siak injured, not able to play this year. But it's Spain that's celebrating. And the French players, they should look at them. And maybe that'll just fire them up. Look at MVP. And give them the pep talk. if I feel bad for anybody, I feel bad for Gruda because I don't remember her playing this well ever in a FIBA Women's EuroBasket.
Yeah.
She was terrific. So tough pill to swallow for her, but she's a professional and she understands what this is all about.
I mean, really, look at the stats there. 56%, 52%. That's incredible shooting by both teams. 20 to 18. France out-rebounded Spain. Spain out-rebounded France. Turnovers were a big problem in the first half for France. They cut that down in the second half, but they didn't shoot quite as well in the second half either. Here we have the leaders. Chargai, she started on fire and she ended on fire. 23 points, 18 points for Gruda. Look at that. Laura Gill, 5 steals, 2 blocks by Astu Endor, 3 steals for Pupa, 1 block for Yai. You see the disappointment, maybe some questions on the French players' faces and the coaching staff. And then you see the celebration and the dancing, much deserved by the Spanish players. Again, Dominguez, I thought this was one of her best tournaments as well, easily.
Let's don't forget that France have earned a trip in Spain as well to the FIBA Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament. That'll be next February, and you know what?
The good thing about that is they're not going to have to wait long before
president. So how nice is it for both of these countries to have great basketball for both men's and women's teams? You know, in Spain.
And you think of these countries and you think of them as, you know, football, European football, soccer. And really, basketball fans know. I mean, these two countries, like you said, men and women, are some of the top in the world, especially Spain.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that both of them have wonderful basketball programs. And the men, you know, the men's teams from those countries will be at the World Cup this summer, the first ever 32-team FIBA basketball World Cup. And for the first time, it'll be in China. And both of the women's teams were at the World Cup last year, and we fully expect both of the women's teams to be at the Olympics in Tokyo next year. So we're going to have the medal ceremonies. Serbia's going to come out and get their third-place medals. The Spain fans are going to be tweeting and Instagramming and Facebooking and what else do they do? WhatsApping.
Insta, did you say that?
Instagramming.
Snapping?
Snapchatting. Yeah. Emailing. Texting.
Oh, no, people don't email anymore.
So we're getting ready for the awarding of the medals.
We are now ready to begin the FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 closing ceremony.
So the closing
FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 na Europskom šampionatu za dame 2019. godine. Reprezentacija Srbije!
So Serbia doing a little dance, doing a little jig. Careful, don't drop the baby. Jelena Brooks steps up.
Are presented by Mrs. Carmen Tokala, Vice President of FIBA Europe, and Mr. Vanja Udovic,
So Carmen Tokala from Romania.
Sports of the Republic of Serbia.
And also Vanja Udovic, the Minister of Sports of Youth and a great water polo player in his day. He was actually regarded as the best water polo player, I think, in the world.
Head coach.
Don't drop the baby, Jelena.
Number 9, Jelena Brooks. Number 3, Maja Miljkovic.
Miljkovic was the MVP today.
Number 5,
especially in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Number 6, Sasha Chajo.
Chajo, she played very well.
Number 8, Nevena Jovanovic.
Jovanovic had the big steal, I think,
Number 10,
against Belgium.
Diana Butulia.
Butulia came out of retirement to play for Serbia.
Number 11, Aleksandra Crvendakic.
Crvendakic as well.
Number 13, Nikolina Milic.
Here's Stankovic.
Number 14, Dragana Stankovic.
I thought she was kind of a revelation of this tournament.
Aleksandra Stanachev.
And how about her? She was terrific today when she came in.
23, Ana Dabovic.
Do you remember the quarterfinals by that woman, Anna Dabovic?
24,
And she broke her hand in that game and continued to come back in the second half.
Yeah, just think if she hadn't stayed in the game when they were up by such a big number on Sweden.
I know. I mean, it did happen in the first half.
Well, Dabovic she was the MVP of the FIBA Women's EuroBasket in 2015.
Hosting the next Olympics after Tokyo.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for silver medalist Team France. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the FIBA Women's EuroBasket 2019 champions and gold medal winning team, España!
So now Spain will step onto the top of the podium, as they like to say. Arriba, encima.
President of FIBA Europe, and Mr. Predrag Danilovic, President of the Basketball Federation
So Predrag Danilovic
Serbia.
comes out, the president of the federation. Of course, he's played in the NBA and played for Yugoslavia. And Turgay Demirel, the FIBA Europe president.
Andrea Villarov, Laura Nichols,
Laura Nichols, arguably the unsung hero of
Cristina
the
Oviña,
Spanish team. Cristina Oviña getting more and more important to the
Dominguez.
team. Sylvia Dominguez, I think, had her best tournament with
Laia
Spain.
Palau,
Laia Palau, the ageless wonder at 40 years of
Marta
age.
Zargai,
Marta Zargai quite possibly got
Tamara
a few
Abalde,
MVP votes. She was in the All-Star 5 tomorrow ball day. Wow.
Ana Cruz,
Anna Cruz as well.
to do this year in and year out, and Spain they've been doing that, Jeff, and that's incredible in itself.
And once again, the words of Freddie Mercury and Queen. Well, I bet you they didn't know when they came up with this song they were going to hear it so many times. It's now the staple. It's the song that you always hear. So they clinched the title with another win over France, their third win over France in the final of the FIBA Women's EuroBasket since 2013. They also beat France in 2017 and now 2019. Serbia won it in 2015.
Over France.
Over France. So France have made it to the final 4 consecutive. In fact, they've made it to the final. Yeah, in 2011 they got to 3rd place in Poland, and they won it in 2009. This is, just one of those many. I mean, it's just one of those many great moments for Spanish basketball. What can you say?
One of many, that's for sure.
Jorge Garbajosa once again getting hugs from Laura Nichols. And hugs all around.
Lots of hugs.
That's it. What a lasting image, and I'm guessing that we'll just leave you with that. Laura Nichols there with Elisa Aguilar, also a member of the 2013 winning team, and bring the past and the present together, and it all adds up to success for Spain, and also the family members who have come to support the players. So it's been a great EuroBasket. I have to say, it's been really enjoyable.
I enjoyed your company.
I enjoyed your company as well. See you every day. I've seen you more than my wife for the last 2 weeks, but I miss my wife and family. Can't wait to see them. So that's great, folks. Thanks everybody for watching, and I guess we'll be seeing you at another tournament very soon.
We will.
Sean and I will be at the Under-19s in Thailand, so we hope that you watch that one, the FIBA Women's World Cup, the Under-19 World Cup, and I guess that's it. Have you got anything else to say? You're all talked out?
Once again, wonderful tournament. It's been a pleasure working with you as always, Jeff.
Thank you. I'll pay you later.
FIBA put on a great event as always, and we'll see you at the next tournament very shortly.
Okay, thanks a lot. Adios, muchachos.